Welcome back to Season 4 of Bison Overtime. My name is Logan Guenterberg. I'm joined here by Vinny Anderson. It's been a long time. I don't think we've done one of these since May. Had a little bit of issues getting it going, but we're back better than ever. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. We are right in the middle of football season, so.
Hell yeah.
You ready to get into it?
Oh, ready as always.
What do you got for me today, Vinny? What are we kicking it off with?
All right, we're going to kick off with NDSU Bison Sports. We got the FCS playoffs well into action after round one, and Bison destroy Drake as their playoff debut did not go as they planned.
66-3. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, it was complete domination. This is an NDSU team that we haven't really seen play to their strengths as much as other years. They seemed a bit weaker. They seemed a bit worse. We had struggles against South Dakota, obviously South Dakota State, North Dakota. So a lot of worries going into that first round. So to really see it just kind of like take off, and I don't think anything went wrong for them that first game against Drake.
I think a couple turnovers, like those fumbles, but other than that, I think they played perfect ball, and they are on a hot streak, beating UNI and who else did they beat? They had
Southern Illinois the week before.
Yeah. I mean, they're on a roll right now, and it's the perfect time because we're in the second round of playoffs, and they're going to face off against Montana State, who they haven't seen since the championship. So.
Yeah, I remember that, but I mean, great game for if you're a Bison fan. Cam Miller, 10 for 11, 206. I mean, 2 touchdowns. I don't know how it gets much better for 10 passes completed. That's an insane stat line. And then the other quarterback, Cole Payton, who this is going to be his team next year, you would assume, right? Yep. Unless someone pops up out of nowhere. He had 100 yards on the ground as 13 carries, another 2 touchdowns. So both Bison quarterbacks really getting it done, and then 4 more touchdowns spread amongst the running backs. I mean, this was domination, pure and simple. I mean, I remember watching the Drake game opening last season, not this season, and that was bad. But this might have been worse because this was an actually good Drake team, not just, a mediocre team that we saw 2 years ago.
Right, absolutely. And the receivers balled out in this game too. Eli Green had 100 total yards and a touchdown, and Raj, balled out like always.
Raj doing Raj things.
Exactly. That's why he was an honorable mention in the all-conference. And speaking of which, that came out this week as well. All-conference honorable mentions had Griffin Crosa, Raja Nelson, as I just mentioned, Joe Stoffel, and Jaden Price for a returner. And then for our second team, our stud quarterback, Cam Miller, and defensive line, Eli Mostert. And then our first team had some great players on there as well, including 2 O-linemen, Jalen Sundell and Jake Kubis, Hunter Brozio on there as a long snapper, Dylan Hendricks on the D-line, Cole Winowski as our DB, and Logan Kopp as our linebacker.
So what's that, 11, 12 in total? Feels like half the Bison team is on this whole conference list. I mean, when you just dominate pure and simple like that, they're only going to get better from here on out, you would think.
Right.
After every game like that, I don't know who else you would what you can really take away from this team. I mean, we saw North Dakota was expected to go and make a run. They got upset at home, so they're already out of it.
Yeah, what was supposed to be a defensive game turned into a shootout. Sacramento State had 42 baller points, and UND could not keep up as they fell short in the first round. Just like last year. UND doing UND things.
Doing UND things. Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting game. This is a Sacramento team that they got off to a hot start, 28 points right away. And that's hard to keep up with, no matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're UND or NDSU. That's tough. That's a tall ask, and they just couldn't get it done. I mean, they tried to get something going that third and fourth quarter, but it's a case of too little, too late. You can't fall behind by that many. To start off, going in the half, you can't be down 2 scores because these are teams that are not going to let you get back in the game most of the time. We saw that with NDSU. We saw that across the league. I mean, it was either pure domination or whoever started hot usually closed out. So
Right, absolutely. And now Sacramento State has a tall task ahead of them facing a good South Dakota team. And, if NDSU moves on, Sacramento State is going to face all the Dakotas except for SDSU.
Yeah, another interesting game was that Southern Illinois team we mentioned earlier. This is the team that was coming in off a pretty good season, and then NDSU beat them up. But I mean, they handled business pure and simple at 35-0. I don't know how you get much better than that. That's just really just imposing their will against that Nichols team. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. We haven't seen South Dakota State play yet. They're going to have to play now that they're done with that bye. So it'll be interesting to see what they do against that Mercer team. I don't know.
Mercer did not look that good.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know too much about them, but they didn't seem to be a sharp offensive team, and you really need to get points on the board against this Jackrabbits team. They will win those defensive battles because this is plain and simple a dominant team. They're what NDSU was 5 years ago. That's what SDSU is now.
I mean, what NDSU was for 12 years. It's a dominant team and a tall task for the Bison if they make it to the championship. And I think that they're going to beat up Mercer. And, I mean, we have a basketball team ranked 8th on here. And their path to the championship is just
it's going to be a cakewalk, is what you're thinking. Well, who would they play if they win? Let's play the what-if game. If SDSU wins, who are they taking on?
They have depends on Youngstown State or Villanova, whoever wins there.
Yeah, I mean...
And they're going to host them, too.
I don't know who Villanova's played, but Youngstown State's typically not a great team, so it really should be a cakewalk for the Jackrabbits.
Yep, and then right on the same side of the bracket, Idaho, who was looking really good this whole season, and, they have a tough matchup against Southern Illinois, which we just talked about, and, who's really going to be in the semis is probably going to be SDSU versus Idaho, and whoever has home field advantage will probably come out of there on top.
Yeah, that's a big thing this time of year too. Is getting that home field advantage. It really helps to get your own crowd, really get into it. If you fall behind, you can always rally, but it's really tough to fall behind on the road and pick it together. I don't know if any road teams won this last week, except for Sacramento State. I think they were the lone road team, except for Chattanooga. So 2 of the first 8 games were road wins. The other 6, the home team took it home, and that's big. I mean, that really goes to show that getting this home base behind you and playing in front of your fans and not having to travel, that's huge this time of year. So we'll see if NDSU can really triumph that, because I believe they're on the road this week.
They're going to be on the road. Going forward, basically,
future,
yeah. Unless Sacramento State pulls another upset against South Dakota and then brings it back to the Fargo Dome.
Crazier things have happened with that. So I mean, it's really possible. We don't know yet. If I had to say, I like Sacramento State's chances. I don't like the South Dakota team as much as I think they were ranked. I mean, you beat the Bison, sure, but this isn't like a team that has a great culture of making a run in the playoffs. Right. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we saw in UND they got trampled in their own home field, so it's very possible.
Absolutely. And I mean, if North Dakota State can come out against Montana State, it should be breezy to the championship, except for traveling to Montana, because this Montana team, holy buckets, they look good.
Yeah, those Montana teams, they're tough. I mean, every single year, they always seem to be the teams right there. It seems to be South Dakota State, North Dakota State, and then at least one of the 2 Montanas, if not both.
Right.
And then after that, it's kind of depends, but those 4 seem to be really every single year to be competing for that championship.
Right, and especially when JMU and Sam Houston went up to FBS, and that's all the good teams left here. And if those will probably be the top 4. SDSU, NDSU, Montana, and Idaho's going to slip in there just because Montana State's on the other side and we're going to play them.
Yeah, good way to point that out. I forgot about that. James Madison and Sam Houston State moving out. That's massive. I mean, those were the 2 teams that if you were the Bison, those were 2 of the 3 teams you really feared every year. Mm-hmm. And the third being that either Jackrabbits team or one of the Montanas. And now that 2 of them are gone, you would think that the road's a little bit easier, but But I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see till Saturday.
Right. And the Bison should have a breezy path, and I think the Bison and the Jackrabbits should go up to the FBS, but Sam Houston and JMU took their place.
Yeah. Where do you think they would go? Because I think the only conference that makes a lot of sense would be I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Pac-12.
Not Pac-12. There's not going to be a Pac-12. I think 2 years ago there might have been, but that would be Boise State's conference. I'm blanking on the name right now, off the top of my head. We're looking it up on the shelf. Look at that. Mountain West. There it is. Yeah, so I think the Mountain West is the only one that makes sense from that geographical standpoint. Because you have Wyoming, you have Boise State, you have Idaho teams. You have a couple of California teams, but
Hawaii.
Hawaii's going to be a bit of a hike. But if you're traveling, if you're going to move up, you only want to move up for football. You don't want to move up for all sports because that's going to really take a lot of your budget. I think you have to move up for football because we're getting to that point where it's starting to feel like there's not enough interest in the sport because it's either domination or you're losing. And it's not enjoyable for the fan base. People don't seem as invested as they were 5-10 years ago.
Right, and attendance in the Fargo Dome has definitely gone lower and lower, even though the Bison have been winning a lot. And make it interesting, get the fans coming back in, getting realigned up to the FBS will be great, not only for the fans, but for this team, as they've been dominant for the past 12, 15 years.
Yeah, and we've seen these FCS teams dominate. I mean, James Madison, to your point, they dominated their move up. It's not like they've been struggling. They only have one loss in the year. So this is like, it's not that they have to become a 7-win team if they move up. They could easily continue the winning ways and also gain a little bit of national recognition for it beyond just those football diehards. So.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, speaking of FBS, like you mentioned, JMU did lose one, but they've been balling in the FBS, and they're ranked now at number 24.
Did you see they had a court case? I think they were going to push one. I'm not kidding. They were going to push a court case because they didn't have a bowl game.
Oh my gosh.
And I think they didn't pursue it, but it was in the talks. They felt like they were being slided out of it. And if you're 12-1 and you don't have a bowl game, that's kind of ridiculous in today's day and age. Because you have a lot of 6-win, even 5-win teams that get bowl games.
Yep. I mean, speaking of teams that have a bowl game, I believe that Northwestern, which had our former defensive coordinator, David Braun, had Coach of the Year or in the Big Ten. And then also they probably should have a bowl game, and they went 7-5.
Yeah, if you can get in on 7-5, 12-1 should be a straight path. But if we want to switch over to FBS, I know we've been talking a bit more about it. A lot of big games this last week. We saw a couple of upsets. Louisville got upset. Mm-hmm. That was a big one. That one knocked them down to, I believe, 14 in the rankings. But Oregon dominated Oregon State. I know I was watching that one. That one was a real bloodbath. It was supposed to be a lot closer than it was. Arch Manning finally got his debut.
Yep.
It's Manning time in Texas.
Baller.
There's already people from Ohio State going out there and trying to recruit Arch Manning. What do you think about that? This kid's played one game. He's a red shirt, so he's not even using his eligibility yet. Nope. And there's already other fan bases trying to get him to transfer.
Well, I mean, if you're Ohio State and you have two legendary quarterbacks behind you that went to the NFL, like C.J. Stroud, who's balling right now for the Texans, and you also have Justin Fields, who's on the Bears. The Bears is an atrocious franchise, so but but
you're just gonna do the Bears like that out of nowhere, huh?
Yep. But if you recruit Arch Manning, you're gonna have three quarterbacks that are gonna be in the NFL and just absolute ballers.
Yeah, I mean, but Texas has seen their share too, and it's not that he was forced to go to Texas. He had choice of the litter for this, and he chose Texas. Right. But Quinn Ewers is still there. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. That raises the whole transfer issue. It's up, I think 20% I saw, of players are transferred. So that's crazy. That's a high amount. This is 1 out every 5 guys is picking up and moving from their team they started with.
Right.
And when you're a guy like Arch Manning, do you want to sit and wait, a year or two, or do you want to start playing now?
I mean, I think you want to develop a little bit and become a better quarterback, but Ohio State definitely needs some help, as they could not defeat Michigan at all without their head coach. Like, this is an absolute embarrassment for Ohio State because Michigan beat them 3 years in a row.
Yeah, it's
and
not good.
This is just a bad look for Coach Ryan Day.
So, do you think that Marvin Harrison Jr. would come back? 'Cause I believe he's not forced to the draft. I think he's only a junior, if I remember right.
Depends on what kind of season he has. He's been having.
If you're Marvin Harrison, and let's say right now, let's play the hypothetical game. Arch Manning's coming to the Buckeye Nation.
If he does?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Arch Manning declares, is there any chance you still go for the draft, or you say, I need to be here with Arch Manning?
I'd say you have to just stay back and play with Arch Manning's. Probably have a 2,000-yard season in college. And, you've already had 2 1,000-yard seasons and 28 touchdowns. Absolute baller right now. And if you pair him with a NFL quarterback caliber guy again, just like he had C.J. Stroud, man, this guy would be number 1 overall.
So you're saying the current guy is not NFL caliber?
I think he is, but I'm just saying.
Quarterback? I don't think he's that great.
I would not compare him to Arch Manning, is what I'm saying.
No, that's true. Arch Manning, we saw him run. He can run, and that's something that Mannings don't typically do. So I think every defensive coordinator said, oh, this guy can run. Peyton couldn't run. Eli couldn't run.
Eli had some.
And
it's not like his brother Peyton.
Yeah, Peyton really couldn't run. When Peyton ran, the whole defense would stop and not even chase him. You remember that one bootleg where he was by himself for 20 yards and he still almost didn't make it. So, the kid's got legs. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's a tricky question because it's you don't know if you want to waste your best years now sitting behind a guy who's maybe at best a day 3 quarterback, because Quinn Ewers is not a number 1 prospect. This isn't you're sitting behind Stroud or you're sitting behind Caleb Williams. It's you're sitting behind some guy. No offense to Quinn, but it's you're not the next top 5 quarterback unless something dramatically changes.
And I think that's why Arch Manning just should go to Ohio State, help out, NFL caliber receiver, make him look good, and then he can be a top 10 draft pick whenever that year comes for him.
So if Arch Manning goes to the Buckeyes, would that save Ryan Day's job? Because people are already calling for his head.
They're calling for his head because he cannot beat Michigan at all to save his life.
Yeah,
if his life's on the line and
the laser's pointed at Earth and Ryan Day is going to save us.
Yo.
And the only request is you have to beat the Wolverines. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're all dead. We're all doomed. We're gone.
Yep, we're dead. And I'm sorry, but Ryan Day, people would have to come after his head if that happened.
So you think the days are coming to an end for Ryan Day?
As for Arch Manning comes over, probably not. But
that's
the biggest what if that we've been talking about.
We're playing the big what if game here.
Depends on how he does in the playoffs. Because you as Ohio State, you drop down.
They're out of the Big 6. 10 playoff.
Yeah, they got down to 6.
Yeah, unless somebody gets upset here, I don't think they make the college playoff because we're not till 12 teams till next year. So that's a failure. In Buckeyes' eyes, that's a failure. You not only lost to Michigan, but you're out of the college playoff.
Speaking of the college playoffs, you got Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2, Washington at 3, and Florida State at 4.
And Florida State doesn't even have their quarterback.
No.
And
if you're outside looking in, you got Oregon, you got Ohio State, Texas, and Alabama. And we have a game coming up with Oregon against, Washington?
Oregon and Washington, yeah.
That's a
3
big day.
and a 5. That's going to be big. That might be the deciding game this weekend.
Absolutely, and whoever wins that will make the playoffs. And I mean, man.
If you're Ohio State, your only hope right now getting in is you have to hope that Louisville beats Florida State, and I guess that Georgia somehow falls out of it. I don't know how you get in there. Like, how do you sneak in there?
I'd say Oregon would have to upset Washington, right? And then
Yeah, but Oregon's the 5, so you think they would
Right.
get first bid? If it's bad enough that Washington drops out and either Georgia or Michigan loses,
right.
then you could maybe make the argument to sneak in, but your chances are really slim.
What's Florida State playing?
You're sitting at home right now as a Buckeyes fan, and you're praying that Iowa, of all teams, can beat Michigan. Iowa, who can't even put up,
Yikes!
only put up 13 on Nebraska. This is not a good Iowa team.
I don't even know.
They can't score.
I don't even know if Iowa will do that. And this Michigan team is looking unstoppable.
I mean, Vinny, to put it in perspective, Iowa, the betting odds for Iowa, over-under, for the Nebraska game was 25.5, and the under hit.
Oh my God!
This is not a good scoring team. They're
No.
not going to score. They will not outscore Michigan. So, for me, if Michigan scores 17, the game's over.
Right.
And we've seen Michigan score 17.5. Like, it's... All love to Iowa. Love you guys. Great people, I assume. I'd have to hope. But that's tough. That's a tough ask to beat a Michigan team that just beat Ohio State, just beat Penn State, and now they're getting Harbaugh back.
Right. And I mean, you're Iowa, and I'm sorry, but that's just no chance of happening.
No.
But I mean, on the other hand, if you look at Ohio State and looking in the playoffs, Florida State does play Louisville, number 15 ranked. So that there still could be a possibility.
There's still a chance.
But like that 3 through 8 is all in question, depending on how these games go this weekend.
Yeah, because if Alabama beats Georgia, you would think that Alabama leapfrogs Ohio State for a spot because they're at 8.
Right.
And that would be high enough of a leap to beat number 1. So, lot going on. I mean, we saw Alabama already pull off a miracle of their own in that Iron Bowl, 4th and goal from the 31, and they won. So we've seen the miracles for Alabama. So maybe they get one here. But
Alabama, got their revenge on Auburn this last weekend with that 31-yard touchdown. That was very improbable, and they finally got him back after, 11 years?
Yeah. And I know other college sports we've been dominating with football, but want to touch on a couple of things. Purdue ascended number 1 for basketball again. We saw them dominate last year. UConn won its 24th non-conference game in a row, the men's team. So that's a pretty impressive streak. And then Delaware, I know we were talking about NDSU joining, or possibly hopping up to FBS. Delaware is going to be joining CUSA in 2025 and 26. So I believe that's their football program, along with everything else, is hopping up.
That's big time for.
You're starting to see more of these teams jumping up to the FBS from the FCS. So what's the future of the FCS? Is it just going to be one merge eventually? Is it just going to have to be like you blow up all the conferences? Because at this point, I feel like, to the Big Ten. Big Ten's like the Big 16, and we have 2 Cali teams joining next year. Pac-12's not going to exist.
It's gone.
It's all a mess.
See you later.
Unless you're the SEC, like everything's changed like dramatically. So.
And with all these big moves, I just don't see a world in 30 years where the FCS exists, and I think it might just combine into one. But that's.
I've heard a great theory. The theory is that you take the top 64 teams from the FBS, whatever, they just said 128. You take the top 64 and you put them in a tournament style for the championship. You take the other bottom 64, whatever, and you put them in for something else, or they just sit out. So that way it's a whole merge.
Oh my gosh.
All the teams, they already determine their own schedule. Like Notre Dame's proven this. Like you can be a good independent team. You don't need the conference to determine your schedule. And then, your top teams, they play like March Madness style because unless you're a fan of the team, are you watching a bowl game between like Oklahoma State and Minnesota?
Nope.
No. You're not. Unless you're bored and there's nothing else on, these bowl games don't hold much importance. We're having players that don't even play them, so try and build the incentive, make it crazy because March Madness works perfectly.
Right. And that's doing well on its own, and I think that if someone did something like that, it would be a really good marketing tool for them, and also they can also like fill out brackets for those.
Yeah, and it's practical. I mean, the FCS is doing it right now with 24 teams, so it's not like I can't hear the excuse of, well, it's not possible. We're already doing it. So, and that's if you're an FCS like team, that's the only reason people tune in is to watch that playoff, because otherwise, did the games hold much importance?
No.
Kind of, but it gives more teams a shot. So I think expanding that playoff from 4 to 12 is a start, but I would love to see it get even bigger, like 32 teams. Really get some more incentive for some of these smaller schools to get in. Some of these teams who get hot at the end of the year.
Well, I mean, if we keep expanding it, like, what if bad teams somehow get in? Like last year, I wouldn't call them bad team, but like
TCU.
Yeah, TCU.
I wouldn't say bad, but overmatched. But I mean, it was nice to see someone besides Michigan, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia make it.
Yes, but
because right now Washington and Florida State are the two odd teams out, but they're not even small programs.
I mean, when you think college football and playoffs, you think Georgia, you think Michigan, you think Alabama, and maybe Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
And when you have an oddball out, it's like they're either going to lose in the semifinals or they're going to get dominated, just like we saw last year.
So you're not even giving them a chance.
No.
You're not giving them anything? I think it'd be a great Cinderella story. I mean, we had that UCF team a couple of years ago that didn't lose, and they should have been in it, but because there's only 4 teams, they don't put them in there because of the marketability.
Well, that's why they're expanding next year to 16 teams.
12, I think.
12.
Yeah, because
12 teams.
The first 4 have a bye.
Have a bye, and then they play.
And then the remaining 8 play to play those 4. I mean, I'm all for it. I got sick and tired of watching Alabama versus Clemson 4 years in a row, whatever it was. That was so boring.
I mean, LSU could also be included in this conversation, but I mean, Joe Burrow. I mean, when you have a team
they had that one-off year. Like it was like 2 years of LSU, and then they're back to average.
Above average.
Are they even ranked?
They're ranked 13.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
whatever.
Yeah.
Good for you, LSU, but once again, you're not making
ranked.
it unless they expand that field. So.
Yeah. I mean, it would be really nice to have some Cinderella stories, and I think that's why they are expanding it to 12, just for fans like you to enjoy some upsets. And I mean, all in all, yeah, it's just gonna be good football next year.
Yeah. Speaking of good football, you ready to get in NFL?
Oh yeah. I've been waiting all show.
Do you want to lead off with your tremendous team, or are we leading off with my tremendous team first?
All right. This is all I gotta say. So, I mean, I don't know if we can see your shirt.
There we go.
But there goes his mic. Anyway, I'm a Patriots fan, and now that Tom Brady has been long gone, I
got so excited I dropped the mic.
Well, you know what? We might be first overall pick to get
first. Really?
Yeah.
You guys think
that's our hope. That's our dream and hope. Well, okay. Look, you got the Panthers, who have 1 win, and they just got Bryce.
Well, they don't need a quarterback.
Exactly.
So it doesn't even matter if you
we could even get second,
Yeah, how about you go for the second pick? You dodge the embarrassment of being bad enough to get the first, because the Panthers have... Who has... There was another team. Don't the Panthers have 2 picks? First and third?
Bears.
I'm trying to remember.
The Bears do.
The Bears do. But I remember they were happy that
But you still have Justin Fields, man. Like, yeah, you're not going to...
Yeah, because I don't think you're going to stand by Mac Jones.
No.
Bailey Zappi the answer?
I thought it was last year.
Maybe bring back Brian Hoyer the Destroyer? You calling Tom Brady out of retirement? 45 years old.
Yeah, definitely. Well, no, he's let him be with his kids. Football already ruined his marriage. So let's not do that.
You already stole enough rings from him, right? I saw bags in the stands for Pats fans, and I cannot tell you, as a Browns fan, how that pisses me off to see bags. You guys are wearing bags. 3 years ago, you ran the NFL, and now you're like, oh, it sucks to be a Pats fan. I can't even show my face. No, don't give me that.
Yeah,
crap.
you want to talk about
You've got to
bags?
be bad for at least 5 years, at least, and not 7 and 9 bad. I'm talking like 2 wins, 3 wins bad. You're not that. Patriots fans are spoiled, and you're going through one horrible year.
It's one hell of a terrible year. You know what? We still beat the Bills, and
Yeah, I don't even know.
you know,
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how you beat the Bills.
typical Patriots fashion, we beat the Jets. Jets suck against the Patriots. Speaking of
Do you
sucking,
still have the Dolphins on the schedule?
I don't think so.
Because I was gonna say, if you have the Dolphins on the schedule, you could complete the AFC East wins. You can get all 3 of your wins against your division rivals and lose to everybody else.
I sure hope so, but we don't because we lost against them twice.
You're playing the Steelers?
Yeah, we got the Chargers, the Steelers. I mean, and then the freaking Chiefs. That's
Call it. Cut it. It's
know,
over. It's over.
We still will have one more win. All right, we're gonna
One more.
Yeah, we're facing the Jets
Really?
last week.
You know, I just realized you remind me of, looking at you right now, Matt Patricia. You got the Matt Patricia look going on. You're just missing the pencil.
Do we have a pencil in the
I
studio?
don't think. If
Hold
there
on,
is one, it's under here.
I'm gonna go grab it. I'll be right back.
He's gonna go grab a pencil. We're back to the solo show. My co-host is going to grab a pencil, I guess. Yeah, he looks like famed offensive coordinator. There it is. Look at. There's the look. There it is.
Yep.
That's the look. That's the look.
That's right here, Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia. I mean, I'll pull it up on the laptop. Well, I mean, I'm telling you, this is Matt Patricia look.
Oh yeah. See, I told you it came in.
There it
Patriots
is.
fan.
Look at that. Give me this close-up right here in this camera. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I still.
He's lacking the beard a bit.
Yeah,
Like,
I
he's
still need
got
to
the
grow out that
pencil in the
beard.
ear. I mean, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's getting there.
Looking like a defensive coordinator over here now.
Yeah, offensive coordinator, actually.
Yeah,
to Bill.
We should never do that again.
I still can't believe you set a defensive. You set a defensive coordinator, a defensive coach, as your offensive play call, and Joe Judge, who's special teams. You
Yeah, I
had two
don't know.
guys who haven't called an offense in their life.
I don't know what.
And you guys are like, oh, wow, we're not doing great on offense. What a shock.
I
And yet you're
know.
doing better than this year.
No.
Because you know who else you brought back? You brought back Bill O'Brien, who single-handedly destroyed the Texans. I have not watched a man with a butt chin destroy anything faster in my life. He annihilated that franchise.
Yeah.
And Bill said, we're going to bring him back in.
That's our offensive coordinator.
We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Bill. We're going to bring him back.
Speaking of on to Cincinnati, we're on to San Diego apparently.
Oh, right. Yeah, as if it couldn't get worse. You
Yeah.
can't win games. You don't have great coaching. And now your head coach doesn't even know the names of the teams you're playing.
Bill Belichick is still stuck in the great years that he had,
The glory days.
the glory days, and he can't seem to get out of it. And apparently, this is why our team is 2-9.
Yeah, I mean, it might also
And
be
we
because
lost to
your
the
team's
freaking Giants because we cannot have a competent quarterback.
7-10. I mean, I remember going in, that game was going to set offense back to the 1920s. And you guys are in the 1910s. You outdid Tommy DeVito. Did you know who Tommy DeVito was before the season?
I
Answer honestly.
don't think anyone knew who Tommy DeVito was before
No.
the season.
Not a
And
clue.
he's sleeping in his parents' house still.
Yeah, his mom's doing the laundry. You lost to Mom's Laundry Boy.
Mom's laundry boy. He can't even do his own laundry, and yet he's throwing and beating the Patriots.
Yet he's outgunning 2 quarterbacks for the Patriots. Not just 1, 2. Because you had 2. So you want to hear the stats? You know the stats. You watched the game, didn't you?
Yep, I did.
Mac Jones, 12 for 21, 89 yards, 2 picks. Stud, right? Stud. Bailey Zappi, the savior. The Tom Brady, right? You know, unknown guy comes in. 9 for 14, 54 yards, and a pick.
I was a big Bailey Zappi fan last year. And,
No, let me finish.
and
Tommy DeVito, 17 for 25, 191, and a touchdown. How many picks? 0. Because that's what a quarterback's supposed to do, Vinny. Not throw 3 picks. 0 picks. So he outgunned both quarterbacks, not only in touchdowns and interceptions, but yards.
Yeah,
So why isn't anyone fired?
I got nothing for that. Like I
You
don't.
can keep searching that computer all you want. You're not gonna find the answers.
I
mean,
don't think there is.
Oh, you're pulling up the Browns game.
I am
Yeah,
trying to pull up the Browns
you're gonna
game 'cause
compare.
I
You're
thought
gonna compare your first round rookie Mac Jones to a guy that we took in the 5th round after our quarterback got hurt for the year,
at least we don't have.
and he played better than your guy.
Yeah, he did throw 134 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, before the Broncos killed him on the field. I mean,
There was a murder that happened.
that
there.
was.
How are you feeling as a Browns fan?
I'm gonna be honest.
Putting that back on that bag on your head there.
No, I'm just gonna have to put like a Red Cross shirt on because we're just the injury team. We've got. I'm gonna run down. Deshaun Watson out for the year. Nick Chubb out for the year. Conklin out for the year. Amari Cooper just got hurt. Wyatt Teller's been banged up. Batonio's been banged up. We don't even have a left tackle right now because he's hurt. We're starting Jaron Christensen the 3rd. You know who that is? Maybe the 2nd. I don't even remember.
No.
I don't even remember which Jaron Christensen he is. I don't even know. So we just got a right tackle back. Miles said that he couldn't pick up his left arm because he heard a pop. He couldn't put a shirt on, so he might be hurt. We lost a linebacker in Anthony Walker. He's gone for some time. Denzel didn't play. Our safety, Juan Thornhill's beat up. I mean, he just flips a coin to play the game or not.
Yeah.
So you're going to compare your team, who just sucks, to my team that has. I mean, this is a preseason roster at this point. We're starting P.J. Walker. Our best option at quarterback, if DTR cannot play, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, for those who don't know DTR by his amazing nickname, Joe Flacco, who is 39, I think. Age check me. Joe Flacco, who has not played ball since last year, or P.J. Walker, the interception god himself, turnover king, turnover Terrell, we should call him, honestly, because that's all he does, turn the ball over. I mean, I'm surprised the Patriots didn't sign him. He's so good at turning the ball over.
You know, 2 things that Bill Belichick will guarantee. Wide receivers that are very unathletic and...
Strange draft picks.
Yep. There you go. Like Cole frickin' Strange.
Yeah, Cole Strange, honestly. You guys ready to take a long snapper with that 2nd overall?
Yep, absolutely.
At least my team's got the team. They just need to stay healthy.
Yeah.
You guys don't even have the team.
You know, at least we don't have any problems with our quarterback going to the masseuse parlor.
All right. Allegations. We keep allegations out of the show.
At least we have 2 more wins than the Browns did in 2017. So, yeah.
Right.
At least we know how to win games.
Right. How many years removed are you guys from Tom Brady? 3 or 30? Because it feels like 30.
Yeah, it's been a long season for the Patriots.
Well, when did Brady leave? What, 2019? 2020 went to the Bucs?
Yeah, 20.
So, yeah, it's been 3 years.
It's been
How did you manage to destroy the team in 3 years with the same coach, the same owner? Vinny, your thoughts?
Bill Belichick had Cam Newton for his first year.
That was bad.
That was very bad.
That
That's step 1. Get Cam Newton to unretire and come to the Patriots.
Oh, you want him to come back?
No. That's step 1.
You want him back?
No, that's how
you want Cam Newton to come back.
No.
Cam Newton's come back. Cam Newton's come back, everybody.
No, that's how
you
you start to ruin a franchise right there. So that's step 1. Then step 2, draft a very unathletic white quarterback.
Is step 3 scoring 3 points in 2 weeks against the Saints and Cowboys?
Step 3 is to beat the Jets like always. And speaking of,
you barely beat a Zach Wilson-led team. That's not.
We still beat them. We still beat them.
Oh right, it's still win. Still win.
You know,
ladies and gentlemen.
speaking of typical fashion, Lions losing on Thanksgiving is just a tradition.
What was it? This is where we should pull in Henry. It was what, a waning moon? Our weatherman Henry would know. Waning moon? I think waning. This is a stat. I'm not kidding. This is a stat. When it is Thanksgiving and there's a waning moon, if it's waxing, my apologies, but Thanksgiving and a waning moon, the Lions are 0-14. They have not won. So it's either not Thanksgiving and they'll win, or it's not a waning moon and they'll win. I mean, talk about curses.
I'm trying to pull this up.
You trying to pull it up?
Yeah,
Can't find
but
it?
I gotta. Yeah, we gotta have Henry on the show, man. I could not tell you.
I mean, what do you say if you're a Detroit Lions fan? The moon phase is determining if you win or lose?
Yeah.
How bad can it get?
Call out Taylor Swift. They're in their moon era.
You did not just. They're in their moon era. So what are the Patriots in? They're lights out era.
Their sucking era.
You guys know that you can play well and tank, right? You don't have to score.
What?
So
That's a
here,
possibility.
everybody at home, the Patriots have not scored 20 points since the Bills game. And they scored 29.
Yeah.
And the Eagles game.
That was
all
our
the way
best
back
game.
in September. You've only had 2 games this season where you scored 20 or more. You've played 11 games.
Yeah.
You've had almost more shutouts than you've had 20-plus point games.
Our offense is just atrocious. Our quarterback cannot throw
Your
the ball.
defense isn't even that bad.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
We just need a competent quarterback. And
so who's the competent quarterback?
Caleb
You're the GM.
Williams?
Caleb Williams.
Um,
You know he needs receivers to throw to, right?
yeah, but we
he
have
throwing the ball to?
old people like Devontae Parker, Juju Smith-Schuster. We got studs.
Would I go back to
over here.
2015?
Yeah, you know.
You tell
we
me-
got we got to get these players that were in their prime. You know what? We should even
that
have
were.
back Julio
No.
Jones.
You need R, not were. R in their prime. This
E.
is the issue with Bill. You need to call Bill up right now and tell him, hey, Bill, we need guys that are in their prime, as in currently, present day.
Hey, Bill, I need you to side athletic players at wide receivers.
Not
maybe
wide
even,
receivers.
Maybe even
Not
go.
wide receivers. Also, like good receivers, you know.
Maybe even go to NDSU, pick up Zach Mathis. That would be
No.
so good. You know, that would be a dream. You know. Anyway, I hope you take my advice strongly. Go pick up receivers, draft a freaking good quarterback, and turn this Patriots team into what it was. Please and thank you.
There you go. Phone call made. You know who you should go get? Josh Dobbs.
Speaking of Josh
Four
Dobbs.
picks? He would fit in great with the Patriots.
Hey, he threw more picks than the Patriots did, all right, against the Giants, and that got crushed by the
but
Cowboys.
He's an astronaut.
Yeah, that's true. But how do you lose to the Bears?
I mean, there's other teams that have lost to the Bears. It's not just been only the Vikings. I'm trying to think. The Panthers lost. That game was brutal. I watched that game. That game sucked. Panthers and Bears.
That was a tank bowl right there.
That one, yeah, just like Patriots Giants. Another tank bowl.
Yeah.
We're going to get one more tank bowl.
We
I
got
think.
some tank bowls going on. You
So
know,
who
the
else
Bears
lost?
do play the Browns later
That's
in the
fine.
season.
We're gonna
I'm
beat them
just-
because we're not a bad team. We're not the Vikings. We're gonna win.
Are you sure about that?
Who else did they beat? You said we have 3 wins.
Yeah.
Titans. I'm sitting
No,
right there.
that's preseason, my
That's
guy.
preseason.
So, they beat they beat the Commanders.
Oh right, Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The DJ Moore game.
And
He
the
had 3
Raiders
touchdowns.
with Josh McDaniels, which we need to hire back. But anyway.
Which win is more impressive? The Bears managed to get Josh McDaniels fired, the Browns managed to get Matt Canada fired, or Frank Reich being fired? In a season they knew they were going to do bad. I don't think a single person outside of Carolina thought, man, Carolina's going to really run the table this year.
Oh, Carolina's.
What is it with teams and deciding to fire a coach in the first year of the rookie quarterback season?
Look, I mean, if you're the Panthers, right, you have to be pinching yourself because C.J. Stroud's balling, and you didn't go out and get him. Instead, you got a 5'9" guy that can't even...
A short king.
Yeah.
You got a short king. Yeah, that's what
that,
it is. You got a short king quarterback. He's coming up short.
that you can't even see over his O-lineman. But, yes, he was a great prospect at Alabama. I will give him that. But he is short, and, you know, grabbing C.J. Stroud would have been much better.
Yeah, but this is the first year. I mean, we've seen guys take 3 years. We saw, I mean, Josh has been rough this year, but it took him like 2-3 seasons to really take off. Hurts didn't take off. Mahomes didn't even play like his first season until the last game. So, like, is this like Bryce Young sucks, or is it just he needs time and he needs an actual receiver besides
Adam Thielen?
3,000-year-old Adam Thielen? Because Adam Thielen is not young. He's
No.
not young.
He is one old guy, but look, you got
Adam Thielen makes nursing home patients look young. that's all I'm going to say.
you got Adam Thielen, you got Mingo. I mean, you just need a couple more receivers there.
Marvin Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
That would help.
Yeah, that would help a lot.
I would, if I was Marvin Harrison, I would go play with Bryce Young.
Yep, absolutely. And I think you just need time if you're a quarterback. I mean, Peyton Manning threw a lot of picks his first year.
That's
I would give Bryce Young a lot more time. But Yes, C.J. Stroud has been doing good.
You know who else threw a lot of picks his first year? Mac Jones. Mac Jones. Yeah. I mean, not.
I bet you were used to watching picks when you were growing up.
Is that a dig at the quarterbacks of the Browns?
Yeah.
I'm not defending them. Baker
Yeah.
was the best quarterback we had, and he's a mid-tier quarterback. Before
Johnny
Deshaun.
Manziel? How was that going?
I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but it wasn't me. And you know what's crazy is the Cowboys almost took him. I really wanted. That would have been fun. If the Cowboys took Johnny Manziel, that would have not worked at all. Maybe Manziel should come play for the Patriots. You guys do need quarterback help. To be really honest, it's getting to that point.
It's been bad.
Here,
I mean, speaking of bad, you want to talk about bad reffing. You can go Eagles and the refs climb back against the Bills. And
I literally just typed in NFL free agent QBs today, and the Patriots are the first option that came up. The first one, not even Patriots getting free agents, just free agents. And the Patriots are the first option.
Yep. Well, welcome to New England, I guess.
I'm going to do you a favor. We're gonna bring up Spot Track, all right? And we're going to go see. So, Matt Ryan. Would you want Matt Ryan over Mac Jones? We're going to play the what if.
Yes.
Yeah, either or.
Yes.
Matt Ryan?
Yes.
Tom Brady
Yes.
at 45.
Yes.
Colt McCoy.
No.
Flacco's already gone. Nick Foles.
Nick Foles. Get him back to... No. Actually, no.
No. Chase Daniel.
No.
Trevor Siemian.
Yes.
Jeff Driscoll.
No.
Trace McSorley.
Yes.
Trace is
Yeah,
you gotta have
he
Trace.
throws it on the dime. I mean, like, there's nothing more
So
to...
why
argue.
haven't the Patriots gone out and gotten a quarterback if it's not the thing? If it's not the thing, because you're playing two and they both suck. This is like every single FCS school. This is like Drake basically right now. Both quarterbacks are bad.
On to San Diego.
On to San Diego. San Diego, speaking of, they got issues of their own, man. They don't even have a team, but Bill thinks they do. Speaking of that, though, the A's moved.
Yep.
This is baseball, jump. The A's moved to Las Vegas. The Raiders have moved to Vegas. The Rams and Chargers both to LA in the last 5 years. I'm trying to think who else has moved.
I mean, there's been a lot of name changes.
Vegas has a team now in the Knights.
Yep.
Seattle has a hockey team. But, I mean, those new additions don't really
The Raiders went to the Vegas too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
So, I mean, it's tough to beat San Diego, Oakland right now. Dropping the mic again. This guy is dropping the ball more than
no,
Mac
you
Jones.
dropped it first. And
You've like thrown your mic on the desk like 3 times.
I know.
Like the audio's can come out scuffed because of you. You're dropping the ball here.
I don't know about all that, but
Like
I
Mac
mean,
Jones.
dropping balls. You want to talk about dropping balls? Kansas
This is-
City Chiefs.
I thought it was gonna go somewhere. All right.
Nope.
The Browns did too. I mean, we had 5 drops on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
I got really concerned when
You
you
want
went
to be
off
talking
for
about
no
dropping
reason.
balls? You could be talking about
You should not
Browns receivers, Chiefs receivers.
Dropping footballs. Dropping footballs, he means, Mom. Dropping footballs. It's all right. I got it. I'll manage to show you. I'll be the adult on the set. We got Giggly over here. Can't keep a straight face.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, no, drops have been an issue. I mean, the Browns just had it bad this last 2 weeks, but the Chiefs, I mean, that's costing you if you're Pat Mahomes.
I mean,
How much do you miss Tyreek Hill right now if you're a Chiefs fan?
I mean, it costed you against the Eagles, and
I mean, the refs probably would have anyways.
I mean, no, I mean the refs are favoring the Eagles or the Chiefs. It depends on each week who they
the
play.
Philadelphia ref goals. As we
But
call
yeah,
them.
Philadelphia refs like
They're good.
They're-
They're undefeated this year.
yeah, I mean, if you're the Eagles.
Do you think they threw the Zach Wilson game to throw people off the sun?
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, let's pull an upset. Let's say against the Jets.
They let Zach Wilson win, and Zach Wilson's the third string. He's not even the backup. He's the third string.
Oh my God.
That's
You know, if you're Kansas City, you only got Travis Kelce, and that's about all that has hands. Maybe
you're-
your other tight end, but that's about it.
if you're Kansas City, you have a free win. You're playing the Patriots coming up, right? That's free.
It's a free win.
It's a free win.
Well, the Browns still won't make the playoffs, so.
We're 7-4. We're doing just fine. We'll make it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're on pace. Yeah, Kansas City has the Packers in Green Bay.
Pretty easy.
I mean, yeah, watching Green Bay beat the Lions, that felt more like a divisional upset than actually Green Bay starting to get back.
Yeah.
That just felt like everybody plays each other hard when they don't like the team they're playing. So, Chiefs shouldn't be surprised. Then the Bills.
Then the Bills and the Patriots.
Patriots
at
on Monday
home,
night.
baby. It's gonna be a great game right there.
Yeah.
That's a Monday night watch.
Raiders
Anyway.
on Christmas and Bengals and then Chargers. So that should be an easy close, relatively.
Yeah, I mean
The Bengals don't have
Bengals
Burrow.
don't
They're not
have
going to be playing
Burrow,
for anything
no.
at that point, you would think.
I mean,
The
Chargers,
Patriots aren't playing for anything already.
I'd say the Chiefs will win 5 out of the 6 games that they have.
So who's the one loss? If you had to guess, one shot.
Either the Bills or the Chargers pull something out of their hats.
I think the
and
Raiders would be the one loss. I think the Raiders would.
That could also be a possibility.
Because I don't know. The Chargers have been so off. They've been such a weird team this year. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like they have they're the opposite of the Patriots. They have all the pieces, but they can't get the results. Patriots don't have any of the pieces. So it's like expected. No one's shocked.
Justin Herbert is a really good quarterback, and they just fall apart on the defense when they need to have a win. And Herbert can't play defense, and that's what.
Yeah, stop clicking.
And that's what happens.
That Patricia pen is gone, guys.
The look,
All right. I don't know how we didn't get to this already. Aaron Rodgers says he could be back
in 21 days.
in 21 days.
I
They
don't-
opened his practice window.
Oh
This
my
man
God.
tore his Achilles. Let's get this straight. Tore his Achilles. That is not an injury you recover from that month, that year, that anything.
Nope.
That takes 6 to 8 months usually.
If
And he's going to be back in like, what, 3.5?
the Jets are 4-7, if
They're not
they
even
beat
in it.
they beat the Falcons, okay? They could beat the Falcons, but drop 2. You got the Commanders, the Browns, and the Patriots. Like, you can get some wins,
What was
get some
that? What's
momentum.
that
into
supposed to mean?
If they have Aaron Rodgers, they're beating you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but they have to win. They have to win out. They're playing the Falcons, Texans, and Dolphins.
Oh.
And the Dolphins in Miami.
Yep. Look,
With Tim Boyle?
I don't.
You think
I
Tim
don't-
Boyle's going to? You think
No.
Tim Boyle's going to get till Brady or till Rodgers
No.
comes back?
But they're gonna beat. I'm saying they win 1, lose 2.
If
But
they lose the
I'm-
next 2, they're out. Like if they have
Yeah,
9 losses, they're out.
But they want to put Aaron Rodgers, since that third play, since his debut, since all that hype over the offseason, they want to have him back so they can market a little bit better. But I don't even see how.
11 weeks after surgery.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's unheard of. It's just unheard of. I mean, we've seen quick recoveries, but this has to beat him.
Absolutely.
This isn't like he tweaked his finger, like NBA, and, light ankle sprain. He tore the Achilles. Like we saw it pop on TV.
That was so gross. I don't even know if we should even show that, but it was,
Yeah, we're not showing it.
No.
We don't have the replay behind us. But it's,
dude, that was so bad. I don't even know how he comes back from that, and for him to come back and against the Commanders.
Yeah, it'd be before the Commanders if they opened the 21-week window. I suppose he'd be practicing. He doesn't need to play by then.
Right.
He'd just practice.
Exactly.
I mean, he's going to be the opposite of Justin Jefferson, who's been milking this injury for God knows how long. I heard, man, as a Justin Jefferson fantasy owner, on
Nope.
2 of the 3 teams I have left,
Nope.
this hurts. The 2 teams that are in playoff contention, I have Jefferson on. The third one's already gone. It's a 20-man. Tough to win in a 20-man.
It is really hard to win in 20.
But is Jefferson going to ever play this century?
I
Is he
mean,
milking it? They're on a bye week.
he
so.
wants Kirk Cousins, Captain Thuggins back. But
Kirk's out
he's
for the
not,
year.
Exactly.
He's
so
out.
maybe
He's got to play with the
JJ
astronaut. NASA boy himself.
maybe JJ wants what? It's his last year on contract, right? Unless
Is
he
it?
has one more year.
I don't
But
know if it is.
If it's the case, then
Is he going to be gritty into a new team? Because there's no way Kirk comes back. If you're
what?
are you the
You
Vikings,
think Kirk Cousins is gone after this year?
he's like 35, dude.
Is he
He's
gone
not-
after this year? If you're
He's
a
not
Vikings fan?
young. It'd be nice to have a Vikings fan in the studio. Somehow we're like right in the middle of Minnesota territory. Neither of us like the
Neither of
Vikings.
us like him. I mean, I don't know if our producer is a Vikings fan.
No,
Nope.
we're getting a
we
no
got
from the
no.
back.
We got no Vikings
He's
fans.
35. He's going to be 36 before season starts next year. How can you possibly re-sign him?
Kirk Thuggins.
When they gave him that deal at 32, 33, that was a lot of money then.
I did not like that. That was a lot of money. That was
what, 35 mil a year or something?
I mean,
Crazy.
And then what? You still have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and what's the other guy? I'm blanking.
KJ
right now.
Osborne?
KJ Osborne, yep.
TJ Hawkinson's a goat.
TJ
TJ just got a big deal. Hawkinson just got a massive deal.
You have a loaded roster.
Yeah.
What do you, like, all right, so if you're moving on from Kirk, are you going to draft a quarterback now? Because you just drafted one this last season when
Jaren Hall. Does
and
that count?
even though he gets injured one quarter in, I mean, like, and then have Joshua Dobbs come in and barely know the players' names. I'm like, who are you replacing him with?
Jefferson, I'm looking right now. He's got his 5th year's been exercised, so they don't have to sign him till after next season.
Right.
His 5th year's exercised.
Huh?
$20 million. That's the cap hit. That's big. That's big.
That's big time.
But I mean, he's worth it. And you think they're going to give him a 4 or 5 year contract? They're not going to let him walk when he's 26. No, it's not going to happen.
No.
He's not going to touch free agency till he's 31 at best.
You have a loaded roster right now. Who are you going to put?
Yeah,
behind
you've got
those
Jefferson. You've got Hawkinson. Addison looks like he's going to be a big deal. The running backs, Madison's not going to stick. They're going to go get one. But I mean, there's going to be running backs aplenty, either through free agency or the draft. You can't bring back Kirk. You need a guy who needs better upside
has the
than
reins? Who will have the reins if Kirk Cousins does not come back? Like, let me hear the option. You want to go back to the Patriots options that they had and just tell me who they would have? What, sign back Carson Wentz after he was on the Rams or something?
Well,
add another team on their his
for
jersey?
next year, Kirk's due to be free agent, obviously. So is Ryan Tannehill. Neither one of those guys is going to be there's no way. They can't just punt the ball with them. Baker could be a decent choice. If you're a Vikings fan and you want a guy, that would be a good choice. You bring in Baker, you have a guy that you draft. Baker's not a bad player to play while you wait for the guy you draft to develop or get better or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of things that need to happen for the Vikings.
Maybe you bring in McCarter Minshew. Minshew Mania.
Yeah, maybe.
Minnesota Minshew Mania. Triple M. Look at that. 3M.
Yeah, you go from
done.
You go from
done.
ball
I can
to a
walk
lot
off
of
the
hair.
set. That's it.
I'm just saying.
That would be
a
great.
Transition.
He could grow out the hair, It'd be great. It'd look good under a stocking cap. I mean, keep him warm during the tough Minnesota. They're playing a dome, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So there's no one that's a prestige quarterback that's going to hit the free agency market. Cousins is going to be 36. Tannehill has lost his job to Will Levis. He's not gonna be good.
How do you lose a job to
Brissett's
a guy
career
who
backup.
never?
Tyrod's a career backup. I mean, it's just career backups in Kirk.
Yeah.
And Kirk's like,
That's what I'm
all
saying.
right, but he's not going to take him to the next step, especially after the injury.
They won't win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins on the throne.
Especially now that he's got his Achilles hurt. He's already old. This is not an easy injury to come back from. I don't know why Aaron Rodgers is making it look so easy. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah,
whatever.
He's just like, just Achilles. I don't need it.
Yeah, I don't need my
sling the ball.
I don't need my foot to throw the ball or run.
I don't need a plant foot. What do you need that for?
Probably the second snap he comes
back,
it's going to snap
again. A lot of questions to answer for a Vikings fan because the season felt lost, and then it wasn't, and then Kirk got hurt, and now you thought you're good with Josh Dobbs, and now you just watched him throw 4 picks in Monday Night Football
against the Bears.
So now you're right back to where you started. This is a cycle for Vikings fans. They're going through it.
I'm sorry, Vikings fans.
As a Browns fan, I've had to watch nail biters every week, but as a Vikings fan, they've had their high and then a low and then a high.
Nail biters. They had 11, 12 straight wins last year on just one-score games.
11 of their 12.
One-score games have just been killing them this year. So I don't know. It's just been a bad look. And if you're the Vikings fans, I don't know what future you got. That quarterback.
It's a sad day to be a Vikings fan. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think Dobbs is going to rebound. He's not going to throw 4 picks again.
No, I think he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay for the rest of the season.
But,
and, I mean, in other sad news, in the NBA, LaMelo Ball is likely to miss a whole week with a right ankle sprain.
Weeks. Not a week, whole weeks.
Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, we're going to just rattle off the injury news, I guess.
Yep.
It's a good transition.
I mean, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I try.
Because, NFL's getting to that point. NBA's going.
Yep.
They have the in-season tournament, but I don't know if people are watching it for that. But
I don't.
I mean, if you're a Hornets fan, I don't know where the Hornets fans are. I don't even know if we have one on campus here. But if we do, they're not having a good time.
Nope.
Because LaMelo's like the Justin Jefferson of the NBA. If we're being honest.
Yeah.
We're being
Yep,
honest.
yep,
He's
yep.
a showman. He's a big name. He's fun to watch. He's young. He's electric. Went down with a leg injury.
If you want to be talking about electric, the Timberwolves are something for real this year. They are
I've
good.
heard this from every Timberwolves fan for the last... Ever since I moved here. Ever since I moved to NESU 3
They are
years
good.
ago. I hear from every single person. Christian especially. I heard this a lot from Christian. Our buddy Christian. Timberwolves are going to go all the way this year. They got a good team this year.
I wouldn't say they would go all the way.
Well,
but
not
they
all the
will
way,
make a
but
good
they
run.
always, you guys always say they're going to make a good run. They got a good team. And then you lose in the first round if you make it.
Hey, speaking of not losing in the first round of playoffs, the Twins got their win. I'm just saying, look, something might happen and not lose in the first round. Maybe in the second round, but it's not going to be the first round.
Yeah. I mean,
And
is the second round making a second round accomplishment if you're a Timberwolves fan? Because for Twins fans, it was.
it is an accomplishment. You know, you are making a stride into more of a playoffs. You know,
Into more relevance?
Yeah, and not being like, oh, just getting written off. You know.
I mean, yeah, that and the NBA's, it's changing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron's getting old. The stars that we watched growing up are either old or gone.
Yeah, LeBron's son is probably going to be coming in about 2.
Do you think he holds out till his son comes around? Because he just set the career record for minutes.
Yeah.
He's already played the most minutes. This isn't the guy like Tom Brady. This is how Brady played so long. Brady didn't get hit. He didn't run. He didn't take a lot of damage. LeBron's taking a lot of damage.
This
When you're
guy is
setting the
taking a
career
lot.
record in minutes, you're taking a lot of wear and tear. That's not going to help you stay around for, another 3-4 years unless you're a bench player. And I can't see him being a bench player ever.
No. I mean, there's no reason. If you're even a coach, you are not sitting LeBron. And if you're LeBron, you aren't even sitting yourself.
Yeah,
So,
I was going to say LeBron's a coach. He's not sitting himself.
Exactly. You're not sitting yourself, and you want to be scoring. You want to keep doing the things that you're doing. And, I mean, I don't know if he's going to last unless, his son is just absolute balling and he gets called up everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be tricky to see. Not a lot of big NBA news, but that was definitely one of the bigger ones. Is can LeBron hang out or just hang around until his son makes it? Because at this point, it's not even is he good anymore. Can he be healthy by that point
Right.
with that many minutes? And then I think we'll hit a little bit of NHL news. We'll call it here. We've been going for a good amount. I know Patrick Kane. We got some Chicago Blackhawks fans around the area. Patrick Kane just signed with the Red Wings. He had that hip injury, that surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Not a young player, but anytime you get a 9-time All-Star, it's got to feel good.
It's going to feel good. Absolutely.
And then some very relevant news for every Minnesota fan in the next 500 feet in this area is they've just fired their coach after a 7-game losing streak. And we're fresh. This isn't like halfway through the year. This is a fresh season.
Yep. I mean, I think the Wild just made the playoffs, and that time where they had high hopes again, and they just lose. And I think
it's like old Minnesota sports.
Yeah, exactly.
High hopes, fluke season. They lose.
And I mean, there's
Season's over. They fire everybody. Someone gets hurt.
And new manager, all that stuff. It's a
Everything,
whole
everything,
cycle if you're
Yeah.
a Minnesota fan in sports general and general Minnesota sports. And
When does the suffering stop if you're a Minnesotan?
it never does.
Never does?
That's why
I think Cleveland sports might have it a little bit worse, but Minnesota,
I feel so bad for him.
at least, with he did it again. I think the mic drops up to 4 guys. Where are we at? Where are we at in the back? Is that the 4th time he's done it? 3rd or 4th time?
Mic cap drop.
4? 3?
No way!
3? Yeah, you're butterfingers over here. This guy, you're the next Patriots quarterback. Bill, we found him. We found him, Bill.
Yeah,
That's the next
we
guy.
got a quarterback. We finally will have a quarterback.
What do you... Bro said finally. They just didn't have Tom Brady for 20... You just had Tom for 20 years.
We had
what do you mean?
Bledsoe, we had Tom Brady. And
You guys just went from the greatest quarterback, and now you're we're finally gonna have a quarterback again.
yeah, again after 3 years. Okay, all right. Those 3 years.
We're gonna have to get you a stronger clamp for the next show, because this isn't gonna work. You
No.
can't drop the mic 3 times.
I think I dropped it 2. You dropped it 1. I think
I dropped it 1 picking up the shirt. You've just dropped it just cause. I don't know if you're punching your mic. What's going
No,
on?
look, we gotta have like a drop mic counter up there just for the both of us.
Yeah, set it up. Right up top, right here. Yeah. We'll do a little ding. No. We'll figure it out. Post production. We'll have it up.
In other news, the women's hockey league is to start on January 1st.
Yeah, first professional women's hockey league. I mean,
big growth for hockey here in
women's hockey used to be college sport. I think semi-pro leagues. They had their first pro league, only 6 teams. Kind of weird, but you
have to start somewhere.
Still have yet to nickname the teams, so it's a good start.
You gotta start somewhere. That's somewhere, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Kicking
gotta
off.
get women more involved with hockey, and I know I
think they're involved, but there's definitely the demographic there. I know.
Exactly.
I know a lot of women who love watching hockey. They love the fights. Hopefully there's some fighting in it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that go to the Force game, and I think if
they get pretty rabid. They get after
Yeah.
it. We've seen it. We've seen some people that you would never expect to be hockey fans, be some serious hocky fans.
Yeah, exactly. And
the season kicks off on January 1st. So.
January 1st. Absolutely.
Right around the corner.
I mean, we will have a new year in a month, so that's coming pretty soon.
That's all I got, honestly. I mean, you got anything else?
I mean, unless we want to cover the Force, that's all I got.
We're not going to cover the Force. Thank you guys for tuning in to the first Bison Overtime, not the last.
Yeah.
Better not be the last. You better be here next week.
It won't be the last. We will probably have more than they had combined. No,
yeah, we're going to run 3 shows a day.
Yep, 3 shows a day. Every day and nonstop.
I'm not going to leave. I'm going to sleep here, right behind the desk. Right behind the desk.
Yep, we're just going to put down our computers and just take a nap right here.
Taking a nap right on the desk, right here.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know it was pretty long.
It's a lot of fun.
But it was a lot of fun, and stay tuned because there's more to come. I'll see you guys next time, unless you got anything.
Go Browns. If you're a Patriots fan, it'll get better, I guess. Tune in next week. We'll make fun of you guys again. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
Thanks. See you later.